What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chris Jones, NoVACAIN Kennels. Seemed like the perfect opportunity to bring forth some more education. All right, so my girl Misha, my mixed breed, uh, what a night ago, 2 nights ago, I fed the dogs turkey, chopped turkey, um, and Mei Shang, my black and white bitch, didn't finish all of hers, so she balled it up inside of her sheet. Because I actually fed them in their cage this time because we went out. We had something to do, so we went out. She balled it up in the middle of her sheet and tried to save it, I guess. Well, Misha must have discovered it because she did, and she got in the cage and ate it. So, I ran back upstairs. I let the dogs out. I was like, "Where's Misha?" I thought I forgot her in her cage, but I saw her eating the piece of turkey out of Sean's cage. Didn't pay no attention to it. It was like, okay, she's eating. She's cleaning up after Sean. So the night went on, and everything was fine. Well, the next day, everything was pretty cool. And um, that evening, after feeding them dinner, Misha threw up. So I was like, all right, maybe she got an upset stomach. She just threw up once. A little bit came out. Wasn't concerned about it. Everything was fine after that. Well, yesterday, um, went to work and came home. When I came home, I was like, oh man, I overfed the pup. Smell poop in here. It must be a lot of poop. I just prepared myself to go upstairs and clean the pens, from poop. But when I looked in the pup's pen, everything was straight. So I looked in the Misha's pen and noticed she threw up. And I was like, oh man, it smelled like poop. It smelled like feces. That's not good. So I figured whatever she had in her, because she threw up all of her dinner from the night before, except for the chicken legs. No chicken leg pieces came out. They were finishing up some turkey leg uh, as well, and wing parts, and pretty much some of the bone from the turkey leg and wing parts. What came up? So I was like, all right, it stinks. It smells like feces. Something's not right. Hopefully she's straight. So she threw up. I cleaned up everything, cleaned her up, and then it was dinner time for him. So I was like, I'm not gonna, give her any meat or anything. I'm just gonna give her some rice and see what the rice do. So I gave her a little bit of rice, not even a quarter of what she eats, just something to put into her gut, and she was straight for maybe about an hour, and then she threw up again. And when she threw up again, it was just rice that came up and a little bit of foam. And I was like, all right, something's going on with her stomach. I was like, I need to, make sure she poops. So I let her out and she wasn't pooping. So I was running through everything. Oh man, if the dog doesn't poop tonight, I'm gonna have to get a dog enema. She has a blockage. When you got vomit that smells like feces, most likely there's a blockage somewhere in the gut. So I was just like preparing myself, kind of freaking out a little bit because I was like, man, it's been a long few years losing dogs. I got to make sure I save this dog. So I just prepared myself, and then I let her out again because she was asking to go out. So I let her out, and she threw up. And when she threw up, I just kind of left it alone, let her do her thing, and she wanted right back out, so she threw up again. And then from there, I was like, all right, she doesn't need anything. I just need her to sit down and kind of rest up. All right, so I got me some gloves on, put my jacket on because it's cold out here in VA now. Put my jacket on, got me some gloves, and went out there and I had to pick through her vomit, man. I had to see what was up in there. Well, I found a small piece, probably about that big, of what I thought was skin at first, and I was like, that shouldn't be there. The skin should have, dissolved in stomach acid, so it's definitely not skin. So I just kind of started wiping it off with gloves and noticed that it was fabric. And I was like, oh man, where's the fabric from? I ran out to the trash can, because I just threw all her sheets away. I was like, I'm not washing these. So I threw them away, ran and checked them, pulled them out the trash. I was like moving them around, looking for pieces, but I didn't see anything on her sheets that were missing. So I was like, I can't figure out where it is. Well, Ragnar, just got his ears cropped, so we got a pen set up in the living room for him with some cozy kind of quilted blankets that I cut up, a quilted blanket that I cut up into smaller pieces. You know, so I put that in there for him to relax on the day we came back, and you know that's just been in there. So I started looking at that because it was a tan piece of fabric, so I knew, you know, not to look at the green fabrics or any other color but tans that belong to the dogs. And Ragnar's quilted blankets that he was laying on had a hole in it. So I was like, all right, it came from here, it came up, you know, man, it's going to be a couple other pieces in there because on one side it's tan, on the other side is green, and it's a hole straight through it. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Well, time went on. I'm sitting down, kicking it with my wife. We're talking about just random stuff, and something she said triggered the memory of her going into Sean's cage. So I got up and I was like, Sean's cage, and I ran up in there because I remember Sean had off-white sheets that she sleeps on. So I ran up there and I pulled the sheets out and checked their first one, it was good. Checked their second one, and then the second one, it was the same size hole that was missing, that was actually inside of Misha's gut. And where that hole was, it was blood all around it because Sean really balled up that piece of turkey inside of there and just left it there, you know, and laid on it. And I guess I didn't pay attention. I figured she ate everything. All right, so I was like, all right, we found the sheet. It's only one hole. Let me watch her. So this morning, I was like, all right, the dog has to start eating. Patouche, cut it out. Mother and daughter always getting into it. So this morning, I was like, she needs to eat, but I don't want to put meat on her. I was like, let me go ahead and give her vitamin, not thinking, you know, her vitamin might upset her stomach. Well, after I gave her a vitamin, we came downstairs, probably about an hour, she threw up her vitamin, but threw up a lot of yellow stomach content, and the yellow stomach content is you know, stomach acid and stuff like that. So she threw that up, and I was like, oh man, I gotta, you know, calm her stomach down. Now I went to the kitchen, just started thinking. It was like potato. So I made I came and grabbed a potato, and you know, you see how big she is. So I grabbed a tiny potato about this big, and I said if she can hold this down, later on I'll give her a bigger one. So I gave her the potato. She held that down. Throughout this whole thing, her energy level never decreased. You know, she just had a odd look on her face. And then, of course, you know, if you've been around dogs and owned dogs long enough, you have seen a dog throw up, and they get that wrinkled face and drool and start licking their lips and smacking their lips and stuff. So, you know, throw up's coming. So that's all that's been wrong with her. But she was drinking water, stopped, and just being her normal self. So anyway, fast forward, we're at the evening feeding. I'm actually getting ready to feed all of the dogs. You know, I have the rice and pasta for the dogs. I have some potato and carrots, and we'll get back to that. And then I have my chicken and beef mix. Hopefully it's cool, all thawed out. All right, let the water out of here. So I have my beef and chicken mix there. But here, we're back to here. This is potato. So I took the potato, I got a larger potato. I was like, forget it, I'm gonna add 2 potatoes to it. You know, give a little potato to the other dogs. And then I had some canned carrots because I forgot to pick up canned pumpkin. So I'm gonna take I took the canned carrots and I put it in here, and I pretty much mashed it up, and this is gonna be Misha's feed for this evening. Now, I don't wanna put something in her gut. Stop it now. That is gonna, you know, she's gonna have to really, her guts are really gonna have to work real hard to digest. I'm putting something in her gut that pretty much can give her a tad bit of nutrition, a tad bit of energy, but fill her gut up so she doesn't have an empty gut, and I don't have to worry about empty gut throw up. And it's really going to tell me now, with the carrots being in it, if her system is starting to click back on and starting to do its job, because the carrots are actually a little more complex than the actual white potato itself. All right, so I just wanted to drop a piece of information. If your dog's ever throwing up, patouche, don't do it again. Don't do it again. Sit down, both of you, now. Sit. If your dog's ever throwing up, first off, you know, try to stay calm. Try to figure out what's going on. Look at the stomach content that is coming back up. And then just kind of, you know, play it by ear. A lot of people go to rice first as a bland diet, but they go rice and boiled chicken. I just go rice, or I just go potato. Like the chicken and the meat and stuff inside of there is a little more complex for a dog to digest, and I really want to build them back up. All right, so look at what comes out. Start a very, very bland diet, slowly, small portions, and kind of build up to the portions over a course of the next day. And and if you can't figure it out and you can't find out what's going on with your dog's still throwing up heavy, go to the vet. Do not wait. Go to the vet, because you do not want to deal with a dog that has a blockage. The longer you wait for a blockage and can't figure it out by giving the dog an actual enema, or having the dog throw up on its own, or inducing throwing up, and nothing's coming out, get to the vet, because you do not want your dog stomach to start to die. A possibility is your dog's gut can die. It can start to die, and then you will have a bigger issue and a more expensive issue in the long run. So let me wrap this up for you guys real quick. Over the next couple days, or the next day, if she holds this down tonight, tomorrow I'll be giving her some more of this in the morning, and then I would be adding a little meat, no organs, nothing like that, no bone, just straight meat, to a little potato. And then the following morning I'll actually be giving her a little more potato with a little more meat. And then that evening, if everything has gone well, I will be giving her half of what her normal raw food mix would be, with a little potato. And the following day we'll be back to her normal diet, because everything has been going smooth. Well, hopefully I didn't bore y'all and confuse y'all too much. It's your man Chris Jones, NoVACAIN Kennels. Took this opportunity to drop some knowledge on how I use a bland diet for my dogs, and what actually went down with Misha, and why I'm using it. And I'm out.